Hey, what's up guys? So let's take a look at the cloud capabilities of your Blackvue series dashcam. This way, if you want a dashcam that not only records when you're driving or parked, but can also be tapped into remotely to send you notifications in case of a crash or somebody hits your car while you're parked, or you want to just remotely live stream and see what's going on with your car from basically anywhere, Blackvues have kind of been the gold standard for this capability. Their dash cams themselves, like video quality wise, is a little bit below average, but the cloud features, they've been doing this for a long time. Additionally, they just completely revamped their cloud stuff as well, so this is a great time to take a closer look at their cloud features. Furthermore, there's also a number of other companies that have started to release dash cams with cloud capabilities as well, so I wanted to kind of take an updated look as far as how the different manufacturers are handling their cloud capabilities and some of the pros and cons of the different implementations. And so with that said, let's go ahead and take a closer look now here at the Blackvue cloud capabilities. Now, first things first, in order for a dash cam to work with cloud capabilities, it's got to have an internet connection. And so how do you get these connected to the internet? Well, the easiest way and the first way they started is just to have it connect to an external Wi-Fi hotspot. This works if you're parked near your house, for example, and it can connect to your home Wi-Fi, or maybe you're parked near work and it can connect that way as well. There's also some cars that have Wi-Fi built in, and so the dash cam can connect to your in-car Wi-Fi, though those typically only work when your car is turned on. When you turn off your car to save power, the in-car Wi-Fi turns off as well, and so you don't get the cloud capabilities while you're parked. Now, to help solve this, Blackvue's actually added a couple new accessories. One is going to be this kind of external LTE module like this. It's basically got a slot for a SIM card, and then there's the antennas right here. This is going to plug into the side of the dash cam, and now you've got an ability for the dash cam to, well, get an internet connection driving or parked without having to be tethered to like in-car Wi-Fi or having to park close enough to your house or to your work. And so it's going to work when you're out and about as well. Now, that said, they've also added some dash cams that have LTE built in. And so if you don't want that external antenna, well, this one actually has the antennas built into the dash cam, and you put the SIM card in here as well. Now, the trade-off is it does make the dash cam a little bit bigger. So here's the LTE one, here's the standard one. So you kind of have the choice as far as which approach you prefer. I typically prefer having a smaller dash cam like this to make it a little bit stealthy, though maybe one of the trade-offs is when you've got this plugged in here into the side, you do have to disconnect it first in order to access the memory card. So in addition to the power cable, you got to disconnect the LTE module. So it's one extra cable when you're going in to grab the memory card. But again, pros and cons to both approaches. Now, what I've actually done here in my car is I've got a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot hooked up to a battery pack in the back of the car because of the fact that I actually run a 4-channel Blackvue setup. I've got a pair of DR970X Pluses front and rear, and then the rear cams I have set up as my side cameras to give me a more 360-degree setup, basically adding the side cameras as well. Now, the downside is if you're doing that, Blackvue dash cams, they can share their internet connection with other devices. So I can connect my radar detectors and phones and even multiple ThinkWare dash cams and other brands of dash cams to my Blackvue. But if I've got a pair of Blackvues, I can't have one Blackvue share its internet connection with another, which is really annoying. They said earlier that they were going to allow that capability, but they've chosen, maybe due to bandwidth restrictions or something, not to give us that capability. And so for that reason, in order for me to have both of my Blackvue dash cams connected to the cloud, I now have an external Wi-Fi hotspot, which was more involved to set up. But now I've got the ability to have, well, all 4 cameras essentially connected to the cloud. Now, with that said, what do the cloud capabilities look like in practice? Well, as I mentioned earlier, Blackvue has recently revamped their cloud capabilities, and they've redesigned the UI for it as well. There's now 2 different apps. One app is going to be for just kind of like your general consumer, if you've got a Blackvue dashcam. There's also a second app now called Fleeta, which is kind of the same idea, but designed for, well, companies and fleets who've got a bunch of different Blackvue dashcams. Now, if we pull up the Blackvue app here like this, the main page just kind of gives you like some updates, and there's like social media type stuff with other people's videos if you want to see that. You also have the ability, of course, to connect to your Blackvue dashcam. You can see right now I don't have any of the cameras connected, but if you want to do that, you can just go over here and it's going to start searching for your Blackvue dashcams. Now, with the newer ones, you can see we've got the option right here. They're just going to show up over Bluetooth, which is very nice. You just tap on one of the dashcams and then you put your hand like right next to the dashcam. It'll beep and it's going to allow you to connect to it, which is really nice. Anyways, there's also a button here for a battery pack if you've got the Blackvue batteries installed in your car. I've got a couple of those and more at home. They basically just let you see the remaining capacity of the battery when they're being used to power your dash cams while you're parked, and you can see the status when you're driving and they're recharging here as well. And then finally, if we go back, there's also going to be, let's see, cloud storage. If we go over there, you can see all the different videos that have been uploaded to the cloud. Again, I'll show you those in the Fleeta app here in just a second. And then finally, as far as cost, you can get one dash cam connected here for free. And it gives you some limitations of like, live streaming for 10 minutes a day, or you can play back 100 times a month and stuff. But if we take a look at the upgrade option, they've got a discount right now, just they launched the Fleeta stuff. But if we close that, you can see there are a variety of different plans that are available here at different price points if you want more features. And here we can, I think, just swipe over a little bit. And as you can see, there's like a couple different plans. So depending on how many cameras you want, how much cloud storage you want, etc., there are a couple different plans that are available, or you can just stick to the free one, which gives you kind of more limited capabilities. If we switch over next to the Fleeta app, this is where I've got my different Blackvue Dashcams connected. You can see I've got a number of them here, not all of them, but just kind of some of the ones that I've been testing and playing with. Now, if we take a look, let's run through maybe some of the main features that you've got here with the cloud. Now, I'm going to turn on the car here real quick so I can connect to the dash cams here directly and maybe show you some of the finished like cloud setup stuff. So I'll connect here to my front dash cam. I'll just do connect locally over Wi-Fi. Do I want to join? We'll say yes. And it's going to go ahead and show you some of the video files that are stored on the dash cam's SD card. But if we go over up here to settings, let's go over to camera connectivity. And as you can see, we've got options for, let's see, if we go over to hotspot, I've got it right now connected to the Wi-Fi hotspot here in my car, Vortex. Alternatively, if we pull this up here and we go back in, there's going to be an option now for cloud connection settings. If we dive into that, again, there's two ways to actually have it connected. One is to have it connected to a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is kind of what I'm running here in the car. The other option is if you've got a SIM card either in the camera or in that external LTE module, you just plug it in and then it's going to connect to the dash cam and then let you just walk through the setup process. You might have to do a little bit of setup depending on what ISP you're using, if it's T-Mobile or AT&T or something. This is probably going to fail out since I don't have it connected right now, but I'll put some screenshots up on screen so you can see what it's like with other dash cams that I've run over LTE like this. Either way, once you're up and running, let's take a look at what the cloud capabilities are like. Now, there's a number of cloud features that are available here in the app, but the three on top, kind of the ones that they show you primarily. Number one, you've got the option here for remote playback. And this is going to allow you to actually play back the video files that are on the dash cam themselves, even if you're not near the dash cam itself. So you can kind of scroll through and you can see like the different driving and parking recording videos, and then just kind of like tap them like this, and it's going to allow you to go ahead and just start playing them back right off of the memory card. And I got to turn down my audio here. It was actually that's the stuff that's recorded as I'm shooting this video. But either way, yeah, you can see the location, you can see the video clip itself, and so this could be nice to see the different clips of when you've been driving and parked. Now, if we go back, you'll also see there's an option here for live view. You can watch through the cloud. So we'll tap on that here, and it's going to go ahead and just do a live view of exactly what the dash cam sees here in real time. And it's basically instantaneous. And to demo this here, you can take a look at what I'm seeing actually from the phone itself and from the dash cam. And again, it's basically real time. You can see the cars driving behind me. This is very different than what I've seen from like most, well, some of the other ones that I've tested where there's definitely a bit of a lag. With the Blackvue, like live stream is actually live streaming, which I really appreciate. If you want, you can also then take a look at the rear camera. So I'll just go on the rear. Again, it's set up as like a side camera right now, but if you've got it set up as like your traditional front and rear setup, then yes, you'll see it as like the rear camera. We'll flip back over here to the front camera. There we go. And so this is actually really nice. Now, I've actually been wanting to demo some of the notifications for you, but with the new Fleeta app, I'm actually having difficulties getting them working. Like if I hit the car and kind of simulate an impact right now, normally I would actually be really quickly getting a notification at the top letting me know that an impact was detected in parking mode, and I even get like a little image preview, especially in the previous version of the Blackvue app. I'm not sure if something's currently not working with Fleeta. I can in the app see the different types of events that are getting reported in the cloud. And if I go in here into the settings and the push notifications, I've got the push notifications enabled. You can see there's actually a lot of control over like which types of notifications you get or not. I've got things like, parking impact enabled right now. You can see that right there. So that one's enabled. I've also got the notifications enabled in iOS here. And I don't have any sort of like do not disturb enabled right now to like hide the notifications. So it should be working. I'll do it here again one more time. But normally, again, what's happened before, and maybe it's just a settings issue, but you should actually get a notification at the top of the screen with a nice little image preview that you can see on the phone or actually on the watch as well, which is kind of nifty. Anyways, when you tap on that, normally what you would see is something that looks kind of like this, where you've got an image preview of like what the dash cam actually saw. You're able to play back that clip. So I'll go ahead and play back what it had before on like a previous attempt when I was whacked in the windshield. and you can see the clip right here where I whack it like that. So that's actually what triggered the event. If we go back into it, you can then just live view and see what's going on right now in real time. And something that I've liked about the Blackvue dash cams is you can actually live stream and see what's going on with the dash cam even while it's in the process of uploading that video clip to the cloud. So like the ThinkWare, for example, you can't live stream while it's uploading, and you can't do anything until it finishes uploading. With this one, I like that I can immediately see what's going on with the car. Like right now, in case it's somebody hit my car and they're driving away, or somebody's breaking into my car, like I get that immediate capability, which is really, really nice. I don't get that with all the other brands. So that's actually a feature that I really like. I'm just not sure why the notifications are not currently working, but typically they did. I don't know if it's a new Fleeta thing. They're still kind of debugging. It's a new version of the app, but either way, that's how typically that would work. Anyways, continuing back on, if we take a look at the app, there's that option for remote live view. We can do that, which is what we've been doing. And the dash cam can actually announce live view on. So for privacy reasons, people in the car know that somebody is actively watching. Now, I typically actually have the sounds on the dash cam off. And if we go take a look, we'll go back here real quick. Live view off. If we go over here to more and then to camera settings, I like the fact that we can actually change the different dash cam settings remotely. So I sometimes use this for things like, I don't know, maybe daylight savings time on and off. We can do that to adjust the time. Or maybe we want to go to parking mode and you want to switch which parking recording mode you want, or you want to change the low voltage cutoff thresholds for the battery pack or something. You can actually do that all here in the dash cam via the app, even just over the cloud, which is really cool. Now, if we actually have the voice guidance off, I've actually started running it off here in the dash cam because they no longer like give us the ability to turn on and off individual audio options. Like you can see how it says for voice guidance, it can tell you when, you know, dash cam is power, parking mode, normal recording, like all that kind of stuff. We used to be able to like turn off of most of the stuff and have a silent startup, but only get notified for things like, you know, impact detected in parking recording mode next time you get back in the car. Now it's just a singular toggle on and off like that. And so for that reason, I turn it off. And I also don't get the notifications here in the car if somebody is live streaming, which I guess could be nice if like somebody's breaking into my car and I don't want them to know that I'm live streaming. Well, now they're not going to be able to hear it with the voice guidance turned off, but that's actually a feature that used to be available to turn the individual audio options on and off, but it's been removed with some of the newer versions of the Blackvue stuff. There's a couple features like that that have been useful that they've been removing over time, and I'm not sure why. But anyways, there's still a lot of cool stuff that's available here. If we go back, something else that I also like, here, we'll just save this real quick. I turned off the audio, so it's not going to say like, yeah, okay, settings have been changed and now it's going to be silent. Something else that I really like, if we go into more, there's also an option here for remote firmware update. So if we tap on that, right now it says that it's up to date and it can't actually allow me to update. However, if there's an update available in the dash cam, I can actually just go into the app and update just from like my bed or my office or something without having to go over to the dash cam and connect locally or anything. I can just do it all over the cloud, which is also very convenient. It's a little thing and it doesn't happen that often, but when you need it, it's kind of nice to be able to update remotely here like this. Now, as far as some of the other options that are here, we've got the notifications. So you can see kind of like the different cloud events. So right now I've got like motion detection enabled, impact detection, that kind of stuff. And again, you can go in here and I normally run with like motion detection off and I don't need it to record when I enter and exit parking recording and stuff. I just normally have things like parking impacts and stuff. So you can turn it on and off as you want, but I've got that turned on just for the notifications. The next option is going to be the report, which lets you know like if you've been driving safely or recklessly. So useful for fleet drivers to kind of keep an eye on their drivers and stuff, or I guess fleet managers. We've got the GPS tracking, which I'm not going to show you for privacy reasons, but basically just kind of shows you a map of like where people have been driving. You've got the battery pairing option, which for my front camera, I don't have a Blackvue battery connected, but if I go to the rear one, I actually do right now. So if I tap on that, over the air, it's going to connect and let me know the battery capacity remaining that dash cam is connected to. So you can see right now it's at 99% capacity and I've got about 26 hours of parking record time for the rear dash cam. So that's a pretty cool feature as well that you can access over the cloud. And it also shows the temperature, 29 degrees Celsius of that battery as well. There's also options if we go in there, we can take a look and we can like format the micro SD card, for example, which can be useful to do periodically just to keep things fresh. So there's a lot of like really cool capabilities that I like that I've definitely been using here with the Blackvue dash cams. And it's maybe the main reason that I've actually been sticking with Blackvues over the years. It's really their cloud capabilities. The notifications, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe that's just like the new Fleeta App thing. But But otherwise, for the most part, yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, and you can see now Audi Q5 rear. For the rear cam, it shows 99% there on the battery. So I've got at a glance the battery capacity, which is pretty nice. And then, of course, in the app, you can also find the different live videos that have been uploaded to the cloud. It is a little bit confusing. They've got like the live event upload, and they also have the Fleeta Drive. So like 2 different cloud places for the videos to be stored in. I've never actually taken the time to learn like what goes where. I just kind of look around and find what I need. Sometimes you'll find places where it gets uploaded in low resolution, sometimes in high. Sometimes you connect directly to the dash cam to find the clips off there. So like there's a variety of different places where the videos are uploaded. There's quite a bit of stuff that's available here. And overall, yeah, it's kind of the most feature-rich cloud capability I've seen from the different cloud manufacturers. But that said, there's many different companies who are now working on cloud stuff. And so I definitely want to take a look and see kind of like how Blackvue stuff compares to a lot of the new cloud stuff that's coming out as well. And if you're interested in that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified for when those other videos go live. And if you're interested in a Blackvue Dashcam, especially with the cloud capabilities, I'll link to a couple different cameras that you can choose from. With a lot of their standard cameras, you typically just connect their external LTE antenna here like this to the side of the dash cam. Or if you want something more integrated, they do have dash cams that have the LTE built in. Or if you've got like a Wi-Fi hotspot in your car and you really only want it maybe while driving, for example, you could just get the standard one and have it connect to your in-car Wi-Fi. Or if you're parked near your home and you only need it connected like when you're at home or something, you can do that as well. And then there's also stuff like there's different third-party programs you can get. So like if you have a Synology NAS, for example, you can actually have this connect to your home Wi-Fi and grab all the video files from here to your Synology NAS. Or if you have a Windows computer, there is special software you can get to actually grab the video files over Wi-Fi and stuff. So there's a lot more that you can do with it. But just in terms of the cloud capabilities itself, yeah, it's pretty feature-rich. It's pretty well developed. It's not perfect. They've been making some improvements over the years. They've also made some changes that I don't like. But overall, the Blackvue stuff is the best that I've seen so far. And so with that said, yeah, that's a look here at the Blackvue cloud capabilities. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you in the next one.